Hello everyone and welcome to another Picking My TBR video. Okay, so I did not fulfill all of the prompts from last time, but I did get a few. I did a childhood reread, which I read The Doll People. I got a copy of that from the library. I'll put a picture of the cover here. And it was not as good as I remembered in childhood, but I'm also not like, I don't know, an 8-year-old who might be reading that book. So, was it my favorite? The other prompt I pulled was a random number generator, and that got me Brave Story from my Goodreads Want to Read list. And I did read a chunk of this, but not the whole thing. I am enjoying it. It's a DNF for now, just because I'm not feeling like getting into this big chonker. But in the future, I think I will pick this up again. Two other prompts that one book did fulfill, which was a book with magic and a book with people on the cover, is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. And I did read this. I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed it, but there was a lot going on and it's a pretty short book. So I thought that was a little off-putting. It was like too much in the short amount of pages, but I did enjoy it. And the last prompt that I pulled last time was a book under 200 pages, and I don't think I read a book under 200 pages. Surprisingly. Very surprisingly. Okay, now we're going to get into pulling the prompts for the next TBR. I think what I'm going to do is I'll do this maybe every other month. I'm going to stick to the 5 pulls, 5 prompts, and come back after 2 months and see if I've met all of those prompts. Because I am a bit of a mood reader. Not a bit, I'm really a mood reader. So I want to give myself that flexibility to read things that I'm in the mood for and not have to stick to a very strict TBR. And I tend to average around 5 books a month. So I think pulling 5 that I have to stick to for 2 months will be good. So that's what we're going to go with. To the pulls, I have my cube of prompts. Pull 1. First, we got number 47, which is a book I thrifted, and for that, I am picking Elistol? I don't know how to pronounce that. By Darcy Little Badger. And it is a book about a Native American girl, I believe, and she is trying to figure out a mystery of how her uncle or someone died. There's ghosts. It's a fantasy world, which is like our own, but there's some magic involved. So I'm quite excited to get to this. I did purchase this book on Pango Books. I love Pango Books. I've been selling a bunch of books on there. You could check out a link to my Pango Book shop below, but that is the first one. Pull 2. 39. Next, I pulled prompt 39, which is a book with a male protagonist. And for that, I am going to be reading In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens, which is a YA romance about 2 men, and one of them is going on like a coming of age journey on a ship. And I guess it gets taken over by pirates. That's about all I know, and like I've said before, I don't like to know too much about a book before I read it because I don't want it to be ruined. So that's as far as we're going there. And this cover is gorgeous. Pull 3. Number 30. For the next pull, we got 30, which is a 1-word title, and I am actually going to double up with the first prompt and do a book that I thrifted, and also read Eliso. How do I say this name? Aletso. Aletso? Somebody tell me how to pronounce this. But I'm going to be doing this for the one word prompt as well. Pull 4. We got prompt 18. The next pull I got was number 18, and I thought it was a book with monsters, but of course I read my spreadsheet wrong, and it's actually a repeat author, so had to pivot my expectations there. But what I decided for that is I'm going to do the next book in the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire, Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I read Every Heart a Doorway this year, and it was an automatic 5-star. I loved the book, so I'm excited to continue on in a series, and this one's really short. They're all really short. They're a series of novellas by Seanan McGuire, and I'm excited to get into this one. And the final pull for this TBR, pull 5. Prompt 48, which is one of Kalani's favorites. I'll link Kalani's channel down below. She's a booktuber, and I'm going to pick a book that she has recommended.
To the end of year wrap-up videos. Today we are going to be talking about my favorite books of 2021.
Okay, so I just watched Kalani's Best Books of 2021 video on like 2 times speed. And there were 21 books on that list. And out of that list, I've read one, and I'm in the middle of another. I was so surprised that Crescent City was not on this list. But there's so many for me to pick from. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of look into each of these options a little bit more. Some of them are on my TBR, but I would like to maybe use this opportunity to find a new book that I didn't know about. And I will pop back in with the book that I am going to pick for prompt 48, which is one of Kalani's favorites. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this TBR picking video. I had a lot of fun. I like people's TBR games and I wanted to do my own. I like this way of picking books, just spices things up a little bit, you know? So we'll see in 2 months how I do with all of these prompts, if I get through them, what I liked, what I didn't like, and I will update you then. But until then, thank you all for joining me and stay cozy.